Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and hey, you can do this. What do you think of that?
What do you think of that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
So that's pretty crazy. Welcome to TapeDelay2. TapeDelay2. This is my most recent delay effect. Delay effect. This is going to be a little distracting if I have it this loud. The idea was I wanted to revisit my tape effect. Let me do this with this. I wanted to revisit my tape effect so that I could make it work better at high sample rates and do my undersampling thing with it. And it's gone quite well, I think. So here's what you see. We've got our time control, and that goes to a very fast repeat down to a very slow repeat, a very slow repeat, a very slow repeat, a very slow repeat. And this is being played, at 96K. And it'll run on higher sample rates as well because it's being undersampled. But there's something else going on. On top of this craziness, and the regeneration control, which is pretty close to infinite. And I'll show you what it is. See how this has a frequency and reso control? Well, I can also do this. Now when I do this, the echo is all being restricted into the frequency range, which is what the previous one was about. So we can set it to a higher pitch. And this might be something like a old drum echo thing. You can dial in whatever tone you want. The extremely resonant things are kind of exaggerated. You might want to turn the resonance up really high to maximize that one for your kind of crazy dub reggae kind of stuff. It's a very aggressive tone. And of course, we can do stuff with the speed as well. And they'll both have some effect. In particular, a resonant frequency is going to be applied to everything, not just the regeneration, but it's also being applied to the regeneration as well. This is again full resonance. Now the thing to bear in mind here, the thing to bear in mind here is that our filter delay thing going on, this has to do with how I'm using the undersampling. And I'll explain the trick that I'm using here. Everything is continually running through the same bandpass that we have here. Like we can set it to a really dark echo for like cheap guitar delay thing. Or we can make it a higher speed for like your Benson Echo Rec kind of thing going on. Or whatever most resembles whatever bizarre tape effect, tape echo you have in mind. Because this is a Airwindows biquad filter bandpass. It's a nice efficient thing, and it's using the really high quality variables. It's using long doubles for its calculations. That makes it slower, but I mean, you'd be getting the same thing if you were dealing with graphic user interfaces or lots of overprocessing or whatever. So it's like I'm using a little extra CPU to do this, but it's for a good purpose. You get your tone happening there. But what I did to start off was this. So what we've got, when we have the resonance at 0, it sounds kind of like full range, but it's not. This is still a bandpass filter, but it's the Airwindows-bandpassed bandpass filter. I'm sorry, that might be a little distracting. It's the Airwindows-bandpassed bandpass filter, meaning that it is, the resonance is so low that it's widened out the band to practically infinity. You're getting some bass in there. You're getting some high frequencies in there. It seems nice and bright. It seems like it's going up to the highs effectively. But it's still a bandpass. It's just widened beyond what your normal biquad filters could do, because the calculation that I'm doing with it is capable of handling these unreasonable settings. And that also means we can still use the frequency control, because that still has an effect. I've got it sort of in the mid-range here. But if I was to take it and move it down to the low frequencies, our bandpass is now rolling off the highs hugely. And we can dial in however much of that. So this is a much darker tape slapback effect. It's extremely dark indeed, because we've taken the frequency way down into the bass. Or we can take it away from the mid-range where you can more or less hear everything and take it right up to the extreme highs. And now this is a much brighter bandpass effect. So it's like a really high frequency tape delay. And it'll keep brightening it bit by bit, and it's going to keep a lot of brightness, but it's still not going to be a digital sounding effect because it's still a bandpass. You have to put it in the middle to make it sound more like the full range. And so we can use it as a nice little tone control, even without cranking the resonance way up. And that gives us a nice little effect as far as a nice, controllable, well-behaved tape delay effect, where you can do a lot of interesting things with it. And there's only one further thing left in here that I could show you about. And that is Flutter, which is a different algorithm than I've ever used before. And Flutter will give you a little wavery sound like this. If you couldn't hear that, then what we can do is maybe give it a little more regeneration. Or better yet, let's play some music through it. Now you can hear it. And without Flutter, it's pretty straightforward. But as soon as we start including it, we get a little more spaciness going on. And then as we continue to boost it, here, let's push the frequency up just a hair. Especially on the bass there, you can really hear it's getting all wobbly and weird and stuff. So the way this is designed is you can have it set to normal settings for a realistic kind of effect. The sort of thing that you might have if you had a tape delay going on. And you wanted it to be believable. But if we turn it up, we get that crazy effect. There's TapeDelay2. Everything about this is different from previous versions I've done. I think it's honestly worked out quite nicely. And I hope people enjoy the heck out of it. This is not only undersampling, not only the new Flutter behavior, not only the biquad filter that's giving you a wide range of tonalities, but it's also, here, let me put that back on. But there's also a final thing, which is different from anything I've done with a delay before. I figured since I was undersampling, since I was running everything on the equivalent of 44.1K, so that I could have the full delay range no matter what sample rate we were using, and it wouldn't even take any extra CPU, why not expand it outwards to the longest delay range, and then rather than using smaller delay buffers, which makes squenchy noises when you change the time thing, let's just run the tape faster for the high speed stuff. So what this one is doing underneath the hood is when you have a very fast time setting, it's essentially running the tape at like 384K or beyond, just cranking away like mad, and then taking the output from that, which means when we're changing stuff with the time, like playing with it and doing this crazy stuff, what's happening is you're getting the effect of a real tape echo, because it's actually speeding up or slowing down the medium that it's using. And that gives you not only a better way of handling that type of pitch change effect, but it's also giving a better tone over all of the kinds of effects, including the flutter. Because the flutter is just modulating the same speed that the time control is modulating. Everything about this is more well designed than any previous tape delay that I've done before. And I hope you like it. For now, I will just politely shut it off, because that's enough craziness for now. But, yeah. This is a free audio unit and VST plugin. It's on the Mac, it's both retro, meaning that you've got a version that's built on 10.6.8 and works on PowerPC machines, all the way up to a signed version that is dual binary Intel and M1 processor, native in both cases. And there's a Linux version and everything. I really hope you enjoy it. I think that this is going to be a more effective use of a tape delay than the original one that I have, which is still available. You can still use the original Airwindows tape delay. It has its own sound. It'll do its own thing. Also, if you would like YouTube to show my videos to more people, well, you know what to do. And I'll tell you one more reason that you might want to do that. I've decided, and I'm going to be posting to my Patreon pretty soon to drive this home. You know how I'm putting aside everything above $2,000 a month to go towards buying more samplers and modeling them? And I'm looking forward to maybe in the next couple of weeks diving into the E6400 Ultra for the purpose of expanding outwards those X filters that I was doing and doing the Z versions of those filters. I think time has come to do that. But if I can save a whole enormous pile of more money to do, then I have the intention of picking up a EMU SP1200, that unobtainium sampler. And I've made some progress towards things that might help me, like for instance, the recent filter plugin Hull. Things that might help me nail the tone of that. There's a further thing, which you can't see too easily, but I have acquired Doepfer A105 filters that I'm going to be fooling with. Like my existing sample playback stuff in the synthesizer, that's a Music Thing modular, chord organ, and radio musics, and those run off of a Teensy, and that's a 12-bit, and the SP1200 is also a 12-bit sampler. And the Doepfer A105 is the same filter chip that goes into the SP1200. So I'm kind of getting a head start. And although saving up like extra Patreon money towards the purpose of getting this very expensive sampler is slow going, that's going to take a while, so I've decided to speed it up. And every penny that I make from YouTube views is going to go towards this saving up for the sampler. And that's retroactive. So every penny I've ever made off of YouTube alone is going towards saving up this sampler. I will come up with the amount for that. It's still not going to be towards the end goal or whatever, but we should be able to get a big jump ahead, because I mean, I've been on YouTube for a bunch of years. You'll be kind of sad to hear how little that has ever earned as far as YouTube views are concerned, but it's something, and it's towards that purpose. So if you would like YouTube to show my videos to more people, you know what to do. And the more of that which happens, the faster we'll get towards me playing with the EMU SP1200, modeling it, and making plugins based on that. I'm actively working towards that. It's just that there are so many things to do that I have to make sort of little baby steps in every direction. But that's what we're doing. So I hope you enjoy TapeDelay2. Here, let me, I'm still showing TapeDelay2. But I hope you enjoy TapeDelay2. I'm pretty happy with how it worked out. And I'll be continuing to put in plugins, but I'm also moving towards doing some of these measurements on the samplers and things. My hope is that when I do end up with the 1200, it'll be more engaging to work with, because this much newer EMU is so advanced that I'm finding it a little hard to get to grips with it. But it's all good. It's all good. I'll take the time, and we'll get through it. I will talk to you folks later. Enjoy TapeDelay2, and thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.